Hello people, I'm Jaby Koay, and I need to share something important with you guys. Going forward, I have to split up the reactions and discussions of trailers into separate videos again. For those of you who haven't been with us that long, this is something I had to do before out of necessity with specific film companies, and it's something I'm having to do again out of necessity. I'm going to explain why, but if you don't care about any of that YouTube business stuff, then you're good to go because that's all I'm gonna talk about for the rest of this video. If you do wanna hear about all of it, here I go. So the reason I did it before is because with certain film companies or trailer companies, they would claim my videos when I would do a trailer reaction discussion. What that means is I don't get to monetize any of my work at all. It doesn't matter how little or how much, whether it was a lot of work or a little bit of work, they would take the entire thing. And that leaves me in a bad position. This is my full-time job. YouTube is what I do every day, all day long. It's my job, it's my life essentially. And when certain companies claim the videos and I don't get to monetize it, it hurts basically. It hurts me, it hurts the whole thing. And so I have to look for ways to get around that. One of the ways that I've been doing, as many of you know, is I set up a Patreon account where people are able to contribute each month, and there are a number of people who have been generously contributing each month. Fortunately or unfortunately, YouTube is still the majority income. Patreon is not the whole thing yet. I'm hoping at some point Patreon becomes the majority of the income that this channel gets, but we have yet to see that. And so that forces me to kind of try to get creative with certain things. And one of those things is I split up the trailer reactions and discussions into separate videos before. Not everybody who watches the reactions watches the discussions. I would say it drops off to about half. And while that's not ideal, it's still something. It still helps, because at least I get to monetize the discussion videos. This is important, again, for new reasons, which I'll get to in a second. But basically, all of this is in an effort to sustain the channel. Everything is in an effort to keep this thing going. That's why I've got the t-shirt thing now. So when people buy the t-shirts, it helps to support the channel. That's why I've got the links, the affiliate links in the description below now, where people can buy the gear if they want to have the same gear I have. It helps support the channel, so on and so forth. And so I'm looking for every single avenue I can to help the channel keep going and just to continue doing what we do. So the new reasons are analytics. Basically what YouTube does is they look at the analytics of your videos. They look at the retention rate specifically of your videos, and they look at where people drop off in terms of interest. So if I have a 12-minute video and 3 minutes of that is the trailer reaction and people drop off at that third minute, it doesn't look good as a whole. There are people who watch the whole thing, but there's like at least half just watch the reaction. They don't care about the discussion whatsoever. And so that can actually impact negatively where your video stands with YouTube. And so you're less likely to get noticed as much and trend, and you're less likely to be of interest to advertisers, and that matters so much. Being advertiser friendly or of interest to advertisers is everything, especially right now with the adpocalypse thing. So I gotta figure everything out to make this work for advertisers and still make my audience happy and make me happy. So by splitting it up, reactions and discussions into separate videos, I'm maintaining a good retention rate on those reaction videos. And so that helps elevate it into a trending territory so it gets seen more and it's more advertiser friendly. And then those who want the reaction, or want the discussion rather, will more than likely watch most of that discussion video, and that will reflect also a good retention rate. So that's my hope with that in terms of the business end. In terms of the audience, there are people who just want to see the reaction. As I've outlined just a second ago, half the people just want to see a reaction. And so for those people, this will be the same for them. They'll see the reaction and then the video will end. And those who want the discussion generally want longer, more in-depth discussions. And this will enable us to do that. Because it's a separate video entirely, I'm going to be less afraid of these videos being longer longer, because I feel like people who watch the discussions really enjoy watching the discussions and want to see more of it. And so I'm letting it breathe more. I'm capping it at a longer runtime in terms of discussions. It's not going to be so choppy with the editing. It's going to be more and more like you're just hanging out with us, which is basically the goal anyway. At the end of reaction videos, you're gonna see a little button that you can click on to get to the discussion video if you wanna watch it. And if you end up on the discussion video by accident first, there'll be a link in the description to the reaction. So I'm hoping that this is easy, or an easy transition as possible for everybody. And I apologize to the handful of you guys who hate this kind of thing, because heard the vehement cries against it before, where people like accuse me of trying to steal more views out of my audience, which isn't the case. I'm just trying to maintain things. And people who just are frustrated with this idea of having to go and see an ad again just to see the discussion. Unfortunately, that's just how it has to be going forward. I heard though that YouTube, I heard this from YouTube directly, that YouTube is getting rid of 30-second non-skippable ads. So that's not something you guys have to worry about in the future, apparently. That's great for the audience, and YouTube's figuring out a way that is better for everybody, audience and YouTubers and advertisers. So it's looking like things are improving, but this is something that I have to do in order to keep everything happy and at least maintain the status quo or improve. Those are the two things that I'm aiming for. Either maintain what this is or make it better than what it is. As many of you know, ACHARA edits for me, and I have to pay her to edit for me because it's her job. Being a part of the Jaby Koay team is her job. And so what's happening is, honestly, this is me being really frank with you guys, I'm a little bit scared. I want to be able to continue to pay her to be part of this thing because it allows us to push out as much content as we do every single week. And so it also allows me to take some time to focus on creative things that I will then be putting on the channel later on, like web series stuff, short film stuff, that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, if I cannot at least maintain the status quo, you're gonna be seeing less of ACHARA. She's gonna not be working for me as much, and she has to go back to other more regular work just so that we can maintain the channel and keep going. And I don't want that to happen. I wanna maintain the status quo or make things better. I wanna actually bring more people on the team, bring more faces on, more regulars that you see. This is something I've talked about before at the beginning of the year. It's something I'm still working towards, but the adpocalypse thing was kind of unforeseen. So this is where we're at. This is what we're trying to do. We're just taking every single avenue to keep things going forward and keep pushing out videos for you guys. Please comment below. Let me know your thoughts. I know that this isn't like the best news for some of you guys, and I know it's annoying. I'm just doing everything I can to keep it going forward and keep pushing out content for y'all. So there it is. I've winded myself, and now I have to do a review for Jaga Jesus. So thank you guys so much for your support. I love you all. Thank you, and thanks for hanging out. I'm Jaby Koay. Peace out.